Thank you. I want to welcome everyone to this wonderful sneak peek of what's going on in Camden and Kershaw County today. This is really an exciting moment for me personally, and I know for many of you who have worked so hard, really over the last 5 years, to begin to bring this project to fruition. And we wanted to get together before we have a grand opening this spring to take in what we've accomplished, look at the buildings which are near completion, and then we invite you all back for the grand opening once the exhibits get in. For those of you I don't know, I'm Vincent Shaheen, and I am the Senator for Kershaw County, Chesterfield County, and Lancaster County. And we are here today to get a sneak peek of the work that's been accomplished on the Revolutionary War Visitor Center in Camden. This is an exciting moment, and I could spend the next 15 minutes introducing folks who are here, which I'm not going to do, but I do want to point out a few very special people who are here, all of whom have worked to make this a reality, or who have played a significant role in my life, and therefore I'm going to introduce them. Number one being my wife, Amy Shaheen, who has done both. Amy, thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. Dwayne, our Department of PRT Director. Dwayne, where'd you go? Raise your hand, please. Dwayne, it's a special honor to have you here. Dwayne and PRT sat down with myself and Representative Funderburk and the chairman and the mayor, probably 4 years ago, as this vision began to be developed, and I pitched them on what we needed to do, and it has been great. Dwayne, thank you for your work. I also want to introduce a special person in my life, one of the most important mentors I've had in my life, and that's federal judge Joseph Anderson. Joe Anderson, raise your hand. Judge Anderson's from Edgefield, lives in Lexington, works in Columbia, and in large part the reason I'm back in Camden is because I was working for Judge Anderson for 2 years after law school, and I went to him and asked his advice on what I should do, and he told me a story which I won't tell you the whole story, it'd take too long, but the result was, he said, Vincent, when I was a law clerk, Joe Anderson, I went back to Edgefield, South Carolina. Everybody said, don't go back. It's a small town. Nobody ever hear from you again. He said, I went back, and 10 years later, I was a federal judge. Go back to Camden. And it's worked out, Judge. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to be very brief, and then I'm going to turn it over for some very brief remarks from the folks here as well. But this vision really started almost 5 years ago in partnership with the state PRT. Dwayne and Phil Gaines. Phil's been helping to manage this project, and I was an excited proponent, and there's so many of you here who I'm not going to name, but you know who you are, have worked to make this a reality. And the first things we did really was sit down with the county and the city and historic Camden, along with the chamber, to talk about this vision and how we could make it a reality. And you'll hear from some of the key players here, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that perhaps the person that snatched up this idea once presented to them with the most enthusiasm was Mel Pearson. And Mel has really been a guiding star and effort in making this a reality. And as you all know, he's fighting really hard right now, and I know that he will be here for the grand opening. But right now he is fighting his own battles, but he sent his best wishes and warm love to each and every one of you, and he is really, really proud of this. So let's give it up for Mel, and remember him and send your prayers toward him over these next few weeks so that he will be back with us this spring for our ribbon cutting. All that being said, I'm going to turn it over next to Representative Funderburk to talk about her involvement and her excitement in this. She's played a key role. This project is a partnership. There's one thing I've learned in my service. We only achieve things when we work together. And this is really an emblem of working together, a partnership between the city, the county, Central Carolina Technical College, who's played a critical role in this, historic Camden, the Chamber of Commerce, and your state legislators, Representative Funderburk and I. PRT has helped to lead the way and guide this. This is not just an asset for Camden, South Carolina, or Kershaw County. This Revolutionary War Visitor Center will tell the story, the glorious story of the Revolutionary War in the South, in the back country, where it was really won, General, where it was really won. A story that's not told anywhere else, really in America. It will be the launching out point to go and learn more about the Battle of Camden, the Battle of Hanging Rock, Kings Mountain, and the battles that were fought all around South and North Carolina. And of course, it will tell the very important story, Mayor, of Camden's role in all of that. Just up the road, Andrew Jackson, Charles, a 14-year-old, was imprisoned during the Revolutionary War. People don't know this history, the reality of what happened here and around South Carolina and the Carolinas. It's a great story to tell, and I'm glad that the story is going to be told in Camden, South Carolina. So thank you to all our partners. Thank you for all being here. I'm going to turn over to Representative Funderburk for a few brief remarks, and then we're going to hear a few other things, and then we're going to tour the facility. Representative Funderburk.
Thank you so much, Senator Shaheen, and I just have to say how much I appreciate your leadership in this project. And of course, you said it, this really is a partnership among some great organizations, some wonderful people, our local governments, our state governments, and some nonprofits who have really stepped up to the table to make this a enormously full and rich experience. And so I just want to give some comments on kind of what this makes me feel and how important this is. I recently heard that optimism and pessimism can be taught and learned. Any meaningful achievement in our personal or human history is accomplished with an optimistic mindset. There are no better mentors or teachers to develop and train our minds to be optimistic and reach for our fullest potential than the men and women of the American Revolution. These heroes had a vision of a nation of possibility, of releasing the power within. They declared this land where we stand a free nation. This is America. This nation began and continues to be great because we look to the guiding principles, experience, and spirit of optimism of our founding fathers and mothers. This Rev War Visitor Center and Museum will help us reconnect with our history of the Revolution and recharge us with the purpose and aspirations that gave birth to a nation conceived in liberty and justice for all. Camden and Kershaw County will have a first-rate opportunity to be engaged with the rich history here in our backyard. Visitors, Mayor, will be amazed and thrilled to visit this place and experience this community that respects our past and looks forward to an unlimited future. I am unbelievably proud to be associated with this project, to be associated with my comrades on the American Revolutionary War Sesquicentennial Commission, some of which are here and led by resident Camden, Kershaw County resident Charles Baxley. And I'm unbelievably proud to be part of the leadership of this community and state, a team that supported this effort to educate, inspire, and promote not just our history, but our resolute and unconquerable spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Funderburk, for all your work to make this dream become a reality. And next I want to introduce another woman who has played a key role in that, who embraced this vision from the first moment it was presented to her and sees this as a star crown jewel for the city of Camden, our Mayor, Alfred May Drakeford. Thank you, Mayor Drakeford.
Remove my mask. Thank you so much, Senator Shaheen. And good morning to each and every one of you. On behalf of the City of Camden and our Visitor Center project team, I welcome you to our behind-the-scenes tour of this amazing new tourism attraction. Excitement has been building for a long time. Everyone that passes by this site is wondering when we're going to open. I received calls, emails, text messages from around the city, the county, and the state with questions of how the construction is shaping up. Well, if you look around, you can see we have come a long way. And I feel that as you tour this campus and learn about the stories, the exhibits, and talk with professionals who are working so hard to make this project a reality, you're going to say the same thing that I do. Impressive. Come on. Architectural design by Camden's Borkin and Munnerlin. As you can see, this is a vision becoming a reality. Project supervisor, KB Simmons Associates, and our own John Barnes state that the construction will be completed by the end of the year. Now, do I need to repeat that? That's from the professionals that said this project will be completed by the end of the year. And then we start the process of installing the displays, the artifacts, and exhibits, all expertly designed by HK Exhibits to tell the story of Camden, Kershaw County, and South Carolina's role in the American Revolution. As you tour today, be sure to chat with the folk from the Camden Archives and Museum who are working with HK Exhibits to bring the story to life. We have more work to do. However, our marketing efforts are already underway. We anticipate a super grand opening in the spring of 2021. The making of this gateway to Camden and Kershaw County is a collaboration between the City of Camden, Kershaw County, Central Carolina Technical College, and the Historic Camden Foundation. But you must know that none of this would be possible without the vision and support of Senator Vincent Sheehan and Representative Funderburk. The generosity of the folk at Central Carolina Technical College, our city council, and I see some of our members out there, good morning, and most importantly, as Senator Sheehan said, City Manager Mayor Pearson, this was his baby. He just grabbed the hold of the idea and just following it through. And I'm just sad that he's not here today, but I know he's here in thoughts, and we thank him for that. But we could not have done it without multiple funding sources and strong leadership. Now, go take a look around. If you have questions, look for the folk wearing the Camden shirts. They will happily show you around this facility, this campus today. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming to see dreams become a reality. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, for brief remarks, I want to introduce our County Council Chairman, who has embraced this project and been a driving force since the beginning. Years ago now, when I brought this to the group, Chairman Burns arranged, along with Vic, for a group of us to travel to look at other battle sites and other visitor centers. And he and I and Amy Kynard and the mayor and others went up to, Susie, went to Kings Mountain and other places and wandered around The chairman has a true love of history. 50 years ago, my forebears, Uncle Austin, Hope Cooper, Hope, I think I see you here, the Burns family, and others had the vision for historic Camden. But for that, we would not be here today dedicating this facility. Julian, thank you for all you do, and thank you for your energy in driving this home. I give you our County Council Chairman, Julian Burns.
You notice it said brief. And one of my favorite songs, as I told Vic Carpenter, is Tom Petty. The waiting is the hardest part. So I have 2 hours of remarks. I do need to recognize my fellow council here. I saw Sammy Tucker and David Snodgrass, of course, and our great administrator, Vic Carpenter, is back there, and Danny Templer. Thanks, boys, for coming. You make a great team. One of these days, when the statute of limitations expires, Senator, and when Judge Anderson is not here, we'll get into the financing of this thing, all led by Vic Carpenter. Vic, you did a great job, and we can't wait to see it, but I see Phil Gaines here, and as Phil said, Mayor, let's get ready. Company's coming. Right, Phil? I'm going to steal that line. It's a great line. And the Liberty Trail, they're not here today, but they send their best regards, and they're going to contribute. Oh, there they are. Good to see you. You ought to be up front. Thank you. It's a great day in Kershaw County. It's also a day of crisis in the COVID. But we're KC strong, as you know. And when you have a crisis, you have to identify and focus on the fundamentals, like you do in football or anything else in life. Identify what's valuable, preserve it, protect it, and promote it. Preserve, protect, and promote. Yeah, we got businesses that are failing today, but they're changing and growing. We've got lives that are being changed, but we're going to protect and preserve and promote what we see as valuable. And we're standing on that ground today. And 240 years ago, it belonged to the British. But we're here now. And just like the Brits, we're going to defeat that COVID thing by focusing on the fundamentals and the things that are important. And if you think about it, right up the road here at the City Arena, we have on one side of the basketball court voting going on in the great democratic institution that we have. And on the other side, we've got a judge seat in there where law courts are held. Life goes on in Kershaw County because we're Kershaw strong. And we focus on the enduring and the important and discard the superfluous. And look what we've done in the last 8 months. We had a tornado, and last Friday, North Central High School had a football game in the stadium that was destroyed just 8 months ago, and we won the game, too. And we got a splash pad going in, right, Mayor? And the mayor and I and Kershaw County Council can brag about parks on either side of the Wateree River, and soon we're going to open up, thanks to your leadership and Phil and PRT, a Clemson 800-acre facility across the river as well. We're going to take our river back just like we took Camden back 240 years ago. And we built the Alpha Center this week. We opened it, and schools have started. We preserve, we protect, and we promote what's valuable. And today we're doing that here, just like we said we would in Vision 2030. And if David Ruhr were here, and he is, you would say something like, "Huzzah." Hooray! Hip, hip, huzzah! Huzzah! Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, David Ruhr. It's always good to see you here, and thank you for your work. When this project was being developed, Mel did such great work with our architects and our engineers to come up with what we needed, and then he brought me the price tag. And I had told him, we want this first class. We don't want any kind of slop job on the entranceway to Camden, South Carolina. And the price tag was $5 million. So Representative Funderburk and I put our heads together and began to get to work in a key partner, along with the county and the city, a key partner in obtaining these funds from the state of South Carolina was our partnership with Central Carolina. And I don't know if Paul Napper's here. Is Paul here, Terry? Do you know? But Paul is our chairman now of Central Carolina, the first chairman from Kershaw County ever for Central Carolina Technical College, which we're extremely proud of. But Paul and Terry and Michael Makota at that point played such a key role. And Central Carolina will use this facility, as well as the city and the county and historic Camden, to educate their students, to have internships with their students, to use the gathering facility for their incoming students in Kershaw County. This facility will play a key role in the future of Central Carolina. I want to introduce to you, we call her interim president, but she really is the person that gets everything done. Terry Booth at Central Carolina. Terry, thank you.
Thank you, Senator. And I appreciate being here today. We have been partnering, our college has been partnering with Kershaw County and with the city for over 15 years. So we're very happy to be part of this project. We started out probably 15 years ago working with the county to move into or to renovate and move into the old built building. And so we started out with classes there. And of course, that grew as soon as we got in there, and were able to work with the county. They understood the importance of higher education and in this county, to have it in this county, because our college serves a four-county area, and our main campus is in Sumter, but the way we're growing is quickly going to become the main campus in Kershaw if we keep it up. But we were able to build a quick job center with some federal money, and of course that was our first building out at our Kershaw campus. And if you haven't been there, we invite you to come there and see our campus. We quickly outgrew that. So we worked with Kershaw again on the next building, and we moved into that building several years ago. We are currently serving over 700 Kershaw County residents, not all right here in Kershaw, but the majority are in Kershaw. We also partner with the county with the economic development. They are housed in the same facility as we are, and also the Kershaw County Chamber of Commerce is housed in our facility. So it's the first of its kind in the state, I believe, and I think it will serve as everybody in the state following that model. We have also partnered with the city of Camden in offering the Scholars Program. We partner with the county and the city in that program. For over 5 years, we've had a Scholars Program where we offer free tuition to students who make over a 2.0 GPA, and they're able to come to our college for free. And that's made possible, thank you. That is made possible from funding from the county and the city, and we appreciate that very much. So we were certainly appreciative of this opportunity to partner again. And this project we're excited to be part of. It's going to allow us to educate our students outside of the classroom. So our students will be able to come here, and we have a lot of different programs at the college that we offer, and we certainly have history classes. And this is going to give them the opportunity to see real history and not just learn about it in the classroom. It's also going to give us the ability to have larger meetings, because we are quickly outgrowing the new building that we have. As a matter of fact, we have purchased property adjacent to the existing campus, and we're working on plans for building again, and I'm sure Senator and Representative will be coming to you with our needs for that when we get to that point. But again, thank you for allowing us to be part of this, and we appreciate it and look forward to the grand opening.
Thank you, Terry. I can't emphasize enough the partnership with Central Carolina is making Kershaw County what it deserves to be. Last, I want to introduce a friend who, in a way, if not but for his actions, we would not be here today at all. 20 years ago, when Charles Baxley was probably the age, actually you're probably younger than I am now, Charles. Wow. Gray hair. I had recently been elected to the House of Representatives, and I got a call from Charles Baxley, who asked to meet with me and took me out to the Battle of Camden site to tell me the story of the Revolutionary War battles and history in the backcountry of South Carolina in Camden, which as a son of Camden, I was frankly pretty ignorant about. Shortly thereafter, he and I and Joanna Craig got together and others who were here and talked about the need to preserve and grow the Battle of Camden site, which at that time was a cut-over timber tract owned by West Vaco or some company like that, Bowater. I want to pause to thank our friends from the Liberty Trail who are here, who have invested and committed to invest in excess of $2 million in developing the trail. Please give it up for them just here in our county alone. And we'll, Mr. Chairman and Historic Camden, we'll be doing another ribbon cutting out there at the battlefield, hopefully in the next year in partnership with them. We are attracting national attention with this project, and we're thankful for it. Charles Baxley has a persuasive man, and within a year or two, we had gotten some money in the state budget to pay off the mortgage on the Battle of Camden. We've continued with the help of our friends nationally in the county and the city and Historic Camden to acquire acreage out there. And we have hundreds of historically relevant acres out there. Charles, thank you for your interest in the history of this community. Charles, like I, believes that a country or a state that forgets its history doesn't deserve to exist, and we're committed to making sure that we remember our history here in Kershaw County in Camden, South Carolina. Charles is now the chairman, we're very proud, of the State American Revolutionary War 250th Commission. We've got a great partnership, and I introduce to you Charles Baxley for a short remark.
I do appreciate everybody coming out today, and I appreciate whoever arranged the weather. This is great. Last time I was here, the mud was about that deep, so we got it made. I want to tell you very briefly about a problem that this facility is designed to solve, and I call it the George Bancroft problem. Now, nobody here has probably ever heard of George Bancroft. He was a history professor at Harvard University. He wrote the textbook on American history that taught generation after generation of history professors. Until the American Civil War, there was about 20 pages in the book that told the story of what happened in the South, of how the British came here, like Lord Cornwallis came here and fought his way through the Carolina backcountry, through North Carolina and Virginia, and finally was simply beat to death by a bunch of rednecks from the backcountry of the Carolinas and Virginia, thankfully, with a little help from our French friends at the time. So George Bancroft, it was a businessman. He became Secretary of the Navy too. So if you look him up on Wikipedia, you'll see a picture of a fleet ballistic missile submarine named after him. But he goes back to Harvard after the war, and he does what all the textbook sellers have done to every parent out here who's had a kid in school. He writes another edition. Well, in the edition of 1866, they tore out all of the story of the Southern campaign and replaced it by how bad South Carolina and the southern states were. And he didn't say exactly that we deserve what we got, but that was the basic message, but took away the story of what happened here on this sacred ground at Hobkirk Hill, at Camden, at Sullivan's Island, Cowpens, Kings Mountain, 96, Musgrove Mill, and 150 other small places. This facility is designed to tell that story because the world's expectations were changed here. The story that was told, in essence, was there was a bunch of radicals in Boston, which is true, we had them here too. They fought at Lexington and Concord. Then all of a sudden, Cornwallis is teleported, by the Starship Enterprise to Virginia. He lands in Yorktown and gives up because he was a wuss. Why did Cornwallis give up? He gave up because of what happened here. And that's the story we got to tell. Having a hereditary king be your government changed here. And that's the story we want to tell our own people, our own school kids, tourists. We want to bring people from all over the world to see the beautiful facilities, the beautiful places that we have, tour our battlefields, and understand our story. Thanks to the leadership of these folks. If it hadn't been for Vincent, this would have never happened, because you can have all the ideas in the world, but until you have people who understand how government works and how it moves, nothing happens till somebody sells something. And Vincent and Laurie have been extremely effective over many years. Huzzah! Vincent said short. I'm worse than the general. I could talk all day. Thank y'all so much for coming, and thanks for supporting this venture.
Charles does an amazing job, by the way, as chairman of our 250th commission. Thank you so much, Charles. But I would be remiss if Vincent allowed me this for y'all to see Bill. Bill is here, my husband. I wanted to be sure to introduce him. He works in Columbia all the time, and so he was just beyond happy that he could come and be here with you guys, all of you who love and appreciate what we're doing here today, and to see this project, and just to be here to celebrate all that this is and all what the American Revolution and the history of our county means to us. So love you, Bill. Glad you're here.
Thank you, Lori. Anytime someone wants to introduce their spouse, you always say yes, for their own sake. Thank you, Lori. This is quite a team, and there are so many other people out here who are members of this team. Thank you, each and every one of you, for getting this done. These buildings are outstanding, beyond what I envisioned and dreamed of. And we want to allow you to see these buildings as well. We want to thank Phil Gaines, Catherine, Susie, Mel, Tom, Johnny, the entire city team for arranging our tours today. And this is how it will work. You will go in whatever building you want to. Go on your own, try to stay a little spaced out. There will be people inside each facility and outside some of the facilities who explain to you why the buildings are what they are. There are displays for you to look at about what's to come, why things are as they are. Susie, am I leaving anything else out? All right, then we will turn you loose to go look at what is happening in Camden, South Carolina. Thank you so much.